Hi guys, today we will learn about how you can develop a C++ program in Visual Studio. So you simply open Microsoft Visual Studio. As the Visual Studio environment launches, you start a new project, and then you can get to choose what language you will use for your project. For example, I click in File. In the File menu, I will find New, and in the New, I will be able to pick whichever project I would like to pick. So after picking the project, the next thing is I pick the language. And if I want to develop in C++, I pick Visual C++, followed by Windows Console application. You can give your application a name, for example, working with operators, and then upon clicking OK, it will going to bring the project to you along with your first program with the main method in it. We talked about the main method in the previous tutorials, that it is an entry point into your application, and that's what the compiler looks for. Now when you look into Visual Studio environment versus the Eclipse environment, which I shared with you last time, you will notice that it comes with some of the pre-coded stuff, and that's Microsoft Visual Studio environment. For example, on line number 4, you notice that there's pch.h, which includes the pre-compiled headers, and that's what pch stands for, followed by an IO stream, which is required by C++ so that you could work with things like cout. In this environment, this is already set up for me. If I remove this, it will going to give me an error. So we're going to leave these settings as they are. And just to show you, you can run your program by pressing Ctrl F5, or you can go to Debug, Start Without Debugging menu, or you can press F5 to debug your program. So these are the keyboard shortcuts, or you can simply click on Local Windows Debugger. Either way, when you run your program, it runs it in the console environment, and you will be able to see your output coming up in the console environment, which will be this environment. This is your output, and here it tells you that press any key to close this program. So pressing any key will close your program. So that's pretty much the C++ Visual Studio environment. As we continue to develop more in this environment, you will see the features. Whatever we will do in this environment, you could very well do that in Eclipse or C++. So it's pretty much the same deal. It's the same language. It's just like Microsoft Visual Studio is another environment to deploy C++ programming language.